Hello everybody, welcome to TOEFL Preparation 1. Today we are entering meeting 13. We are discussing about structure. Okay, so let's start for our discussion. Today we have 5 number of skills of structure to be discussed. There are skill 15 in for the subject and verb with question words. Skill 16 in subject and verb with place expression. Skill 17 in for the subject and verb with negative. Skill 18 in for the subject and verb with conditionals. And skill 19 in for the subject with comparison. Okay, so take a look at the example. Skill 15 in for the subject and verb with question word. Okay, the lawyer asks the client why blah 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 it. Okay, there are 4 number of options given. A, did he do? B, did he? C, he did, or did. Okay, in this example the question word why is used to connect the two clauses, so a subject and verb are needed after this connector. Why? Yeah, this is not a question, so the subject and verb should be inverted. The best answer goes to he did. C. Okay, and this is the list of the skill 15. As you can see that they are who, what, when, where, why, and how. Remember class, when the question word introduce a question, the subject and verb are inverted. Okay, when the question word connects two clauses, the subject and verb that follow are not inverted. So the difference is when the question introduces a question, the subject and verb inverted. When the question word connect two clauses, there are no need inverted. Okay, next, skill 16. Invert the subject and verb with place expression. After either expression place, the subject and the verb sometimes invert English. This can be happen with single word expression place, such as here, there, or nowhere. The subject and verb can also be inverted after prepositional phrases expressing place. Okay, the example. On the second level of the parking lot, remember we are going to discuss invert the subject verb with place expression. Okay, on the second level of the parking lot could be empty, are empty, some empty stalls are some empty stalls. The example begins with the place expression on the second level of the parking lot, which consists of 2 prepositional phrases on the second level and of the parking lot. This sentence needs a subject and verb to be complete, and the 2 answers that contain both subject, start, and verb are C and D. So the best answer on the second level of the parking lot to represent of subject and verb with place expression goes to D, are some empty stalls. Okay, so remember, the subject in the topic could be different from the subject regularly that you always meet in the grammar book. In subject, in TOEFL, it could be a bit longer and different from the regular subject that you always meet in grammar book. Okay, next. And this is the list of the inverted subject and verb with place expression. Okay, next, skill 17. Invert the subject and verb with negative. The subject and verb can also be inverted after certain negative and related expressions such as no, not, never come at the beginning of the sentence. The subject and verb are inverted. Certain words in English such as hardly, barely, scary, and only act like a negative. Remember, hardly, barely, scary, and only act like negative. If one of these words comes at the beginning of the sentence, the subject and verb also inverted. Okay? For example, only in extremely dangerous situation, blah blah blah, stop it. Okay? Remember class, if you meet hardly, barely, scary, and only act like negative. So what do you think the answer for this example? Only in extremely dangerous situation. Okay? Will the printing press be? Okay, so we need verb because only in extremely dangerous situation it is subject. So the missing part of this example is verb, so we need a verb to put in this sentence. Okay, and this is the list of this one, a verb with negative. Okay, yep, this is the list. Infinitive subject and verb with negative. They are no, not, never, neither, nor, barely, hardly, only, rarely, scarcely, and seldom. Okay, when a negative expression appears in front of the subject and verb at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence, the subject and verb are inverted. Yeah, remember that the subject are inverted if the negative expression comes at the beginning or the middle. Okay. Next, skill 18. Invert the subject and verb conditional. In certain conditional structures, the subject and verb may also be inverted. This can occur when the helping verb in the conditional clause is had, should, or were, and the conditional connector if is omitted. For example, the report would have been accepted, blah blah blah, in checking its accuracy. So the best answer for this one, of course, not even A or B or even C. I know that you think that C is gonna be the best answer, so be careful. The report would have been accepted. It goes to subject, so we need to put a verb to place this sentence. So the best answer to the example, the report would have been accepted had more care been taken in checking its accuracy. So B. Okay, so this is the list. Inverted subject and verb with conditional: have, should, have, were. Okay. Next, skill 19. Invert the subject and verb with comparison. An inverted subject and verb may also occur after comparison. The inversion of subject and verb after comparison is optional. Remember that the inversion of subject and verb after comparison is optional, rather than required, and it is rather formal structure. Okay, so the result of the current experiment appears to be more consistent than blah blah blah, the result of any previous tense. To be, them, were, they were they. Remember, previously I told you that the subject in the TOEFL is a bit longer from the subject in the grammar regularly you always met. Okay, for the subject in the TOEFL, take a look at carefully for the sentence. The result of the current experiment appears to be more consistent. It is, what is it? It is a subject, but we need one verb to make sure that this is a correct sentence. Okay, so in this example you should notice that comparison more consistent than, and you should also understand that the result of the current experiment is being compared with the result of any previous test, because the result of any previous test is the subject, only a verb needed. Okay, only a verb needed, and the subject is the result of any previous test is the subject. So the best answer is were. Yes. Okay. Remember, always in structure or structure and written expression in TOEFL, our focus not only for the subject or the verb, but we have to master such as part of speech, the tenses, and the conditional. Okay. So that's all for today, and you have to keep practice on the next practice, and pay attention to the subject and verb. Okay, thank you for attention and have a great day.